Okay, I'm gonna roll on into just using the Divine Feminine deck. That is by Kokorina. It's a black and gold deck, and I'm going to use it, as you can see, on a light tarot board this time. Hopefully you'll be able to have more contrast to appreciate it. It's a very nice deck. Very good quality booklet that comes along with it. It isn't cheap, but if you are a serious tarot enthusiast, it is reasonable enough and extremely beautiful. I believe that it comes with two choices, with the dark background or with the light background. I thought the dark one popped more. But I've looked at so many damn decks recently. Honestly, I might be misattributing it regarding this deck, but I think you have a choice. Anyhow, it is exquisite. Divine Feminine Tarot Deck by Kokorina.com. Check them out. And I believe you can follow them on Instagram. Cool account. Great artwork. Okay. We are going to shift back towards Dolores O'Riordan and just conveying a message that she wants to share, although I think she pretty well did in the first reading that I did on her. I didn't realize was so long. So I am going to look and see what message Dolores wishes to share with us. It probably is piss off. No, I'm just kidding. I get that she had a dry sense of humor. And, of course, if you know me by now, I like to slip in those little zingers here and there. Okay. Dolores O'Riordan, what would you like to share with the viewers of my channel that will see this video, some of whom I know are big fans of yours and your music, and were very sad at your passing? And some have suspicions and all kinds of things. You know, people really love you. And what would you like to share with them? I shall simply be your interpreter, if you wish. And I ask Spirit, my spirit helpers, to help me to dial in and connect up with her and share her message accurately as she wishes. Dolores O'Riordan, she was the front woman of the Cranberries. And some other bands, I believe I'm sure. What do you wish to share, Dolores O'Riordan? Okay, I'm going to lay out the deck. We get the Five of Pentacles. The card of Strength. Page of Pentacles. And the Five of Wands. Well, we're definitely with the first cards, first two here, the first pair, speaking about problems, struggling with physical and mental health issues. Absolutely. And I feel like it was such a struggle for her to keep a certain kind of reaction and tendency where there's trying to be more mindful. Again, she's speaking about being mindful of your mental and physical well-being. Do not let your ego, which is represented typically as the lion, to push you too hard, to push you past limits that are not good for your mental or physical health. Just talking about making sure that you make it a priority and not secondary. And it's getting her saying, you know, understands, especially in this world, that with making money and also just wanting to not be alone or to be participating and collaborating with other people, but you have to make sure that you take care of yourself so you can do those things. You have to take the time also that's needed. And I'm getting here it's talking about nurturing the self. You can't give it creatively, or basically if you're depleted and don't allow it. I'm getting her saying she doesn't want other people to do what she did and to follow kind of that same thing. Don't push yourself to the point of where your ego is making you say, push through this a little harder, you know, you need to make more money, that kind of thing. Know your limits. This is the strength, actually, in strength. It isn't overt physical strength and powering through things. It's using gentle, thoughtful mindfulness. You know, knowing when to apply muscle and when to apply brain. That you apply brain and both. It's a mastery over the lower aspect or the more reactionary self, your ego. To many times dictate to you to ignore and to push yourself beyond limits that aren't good for you. Page of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. the struggle to manifest, having us, she was having also, I think, I'm feeling a real struggle creatively. Again, she's speaking about that. And about competition. And if you're just beginning with this Page of Pentacles work, and this is maybe some advice to people that are looking into the entertainment industry, because this is a feeling of saying it is a very competitive, highly competitive. Be prepared for that competitive edge, and it can have you fighting with yourself. Pushing yourself when you know you shouldn't, but that's part of that industry. That people need to understand that kind of a basic aspect. And I think she was really struggling because she wasn't taking care of her physical. She's speaking to that. Everything was made much more harder for her to manifest creatively, because she didn't have the energy and the basic self-care needed in place to handle the demands. Make sure you take care of your health. It's very demanding careers, especially in entertainment. Call to people to do that. People struggle, and it's a power. It is a power struggle over what you allow to dominate your life. A bad habit of allowing other people and your own voice to push you beyond limits that are sensible, that you wouldn't allow someone to do to your child. That's always the kind of thing that I have to go to. Is like, would you think that your friend should do this, or your children should do this, or your spouse? That's the real. And then I go, okay, it's helpful. Knight of Wands. This is about the energy, because the Knight of Wands is the go energy. It's creative enthusiasm and having the drive and action. And I'm just getting that she's saying if you want to pursue things actively, you have to, and be there for the long haul, you have to take care of your mental and physical health. You cannot allow yourself or other people to use ego to tell you to keep pushing beyond limits that are sensible. And to advocate for yourself. Yeah, justice. There has to be balance. There has to be balance. And it's falling under the Strength card again. So there has to be balance with mental and physical well-being. And you cannot allow, again, like what I was saying, she's really wanting to convey, there needs to be better balance. The imbalance where there's kind of rough energy that's running roughshod, that ego will really take down your energy and vitality. And it's not to say that she was an egomaniac. Ego within each one of us can tell us, you need to do this or that, and it's not necessarily so. It's to appeal to the world of temporal things. And sometimes we place way too much importance on that. And sometimes that world demands so much from us that we forget that we can tell it no. And sometimes it takes a lot of strength because that demand is very in your face. Here's the Five of Swords. To me, she felt that she's talking about, look at she's got 3 fives here, so she's talking about challenging energies, challenging to your health and mind, and a lot of people also financial crisis, feeling overwhelmed, need to take care and look after issues with anxiety and depression, because long term, if you don't, the effects of neglecting your health while you're in that condition can weaken your overall constitution. I do get that. She feels like she missed out also, wherein what I think she was going to remaster some of her music or something like that didn't come together. And it's connected to the moon. And it's inner shadow issues. Because there's not another court card here. She is talking about this energy and the minor arcana that show up. There's no court card. She's talking all about herself. There's no blame anywhere else. And this isn't about blame or anywho. It is about making sure that this world doesn't prioritize well-being on mental and physical health the way it should. And especially in certain industries. Where there's a great deal of competition and push to produce and create. And basically, it's like saying if you don't take care of those things, you are going to struggle to achieve any kind of success or to hold on to it. So you must make that every bit as much a priority as your career that you're following. Make sure you fit that in there, or whatever it is that you're doing as a job. Doesn't matter. That you make sure that you look after and prioritize your mental and physical health over what the demands of others might put on you, and especially in connection to work and also relationships. I think she really felt drained by people. And I just keep getting that she should have been just basically cocooned and in a very healing environment. But sadly, that's many times not what happens. Well, the Knight of Wands is action and justice, where loss is concerned and where emotions and pain are concerned. She says to take action, to put it right, to take care of your health. Again, I'm getting that. And I'm getting, you will, again, there's advice that, if you don't prioritize that, whatever else you think you're going to do with your life will just be a struggle to manifest rather than a joy. Because she was struggling with her emotions, two aspects of herself. I think a perfectionist aspect and another aspect that wanted to be nurtured and needed to be nurtured. And another part of her that was not allowing herself to have that. Or that she had to be stronger or tougher than that. More independent, to try to, and I think that was a point of frustration. She didn't like leaning on other people. And we have success with the Star. She's talking about fame, and she's talking about achieving goals and inspiration. And it's falling under the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Star. I believe that she's showing that she hadn't dealt with these things enough prior to her fame, that these things were still with her baggage, emotional baggage, as she was pursuing her career. Three of Wands. She's offering that you expand your horizons with self-care and with how you feel or think about self-care, because it is a necessity. It is a balance. You cannot allow the toddler that wants everything to run roughshod. To be the one calling the shots, you need to treat yourself as just the same as you would if you have children, one of your children or your fur child, whatever. I really feel she's conveying that. She really wants people to take that seriously. I have to say, she's right. Yeah. Again, she's saying that if you take care of the balance physically, mentally of your health, that you'll have this balance to pursue broader activities and broaden your horizon, because that's aligned. She didn't have that, and she's showing that she wasn't able to get it was such a struggle for her just to I think even I'm getting a sense of stage fright too, right there. And there's less esteem that she had. I feel like she's saying that if she would have been able to go and see someone and deal with this. I feel like she's saying, if I would have had this, and people need to realize that with help, they go further than without it, and thinking that they've got to hold to some ideal that's not quite right. They need to value their, and be conscious and aware. This is, she's talking about, she's got a different perspective now, because sacrifice in that aspect of she can see she's been through it and looking at it from the other side. Now she sees how much more difficult that was for herself. And she ended up giving up a lot. And she can see that now. I think she's saying, I could have, if I would have just taken care of, I think there's some regret there that if she would, like, quote unquote, just would have, God, if I just would have taken care of myself a bit better. So I feel like she's trying to encourage us to, and especially with the pandemic, to remember to make our health and physically and mentally a priority. I feel like she had a tendency toward tunnel vision and her feelings, and it was a struggle for her to shift out of these moods, these feelings. And I think the older she got, and the more accustomed she obviously got with perhaps coping skills that are less than positive there, where you're pushing yourself too hard, maybe doing things you wouldn't normally do, by not simply honoring your mind's needs and what you put in it, what you feed it. A break is needed, and also your physical health. And I really feel like that's what she wanted to convey and wants to convey to people. Sadly, I think she had an all too familiar habit that cost her in the end, collectively, of maybe not knowing how to accept nurturing or to reach out and accept it in some way. There's something about that. So bless her heart, she knows now she's not suffering anymore, and she definitely doesn't want other people to experience something similar. I really think that she's trying to tell people, if you're feeling bad, actively go do something about it. Go see somebody. Call a doctor. Whatever. Take action. Okay. So that's that second final part. And I'll see you in the next video.